Today we're checking out something a little more unusual and all the way from 2010. This is a model that back when they released, I thought it was a giant gimmick. We're gonna test it today and see if it's gonna work or maybe not. Hey guys, welcome back to a Kicks Business channel, and today we're looking at Reebok Tempo from 2010. And probably 6 months ago, I stumbled upon this DS pair on eBay. No box, unfortunately. But they're completely preserved, no problem with them whatsoever. They were never worn. And I always wonder how this technology with the Tempo works, because this one is one of the models that Reebok released at the time that is featuring a U-form. And what U-form is, and gladly they have left a very nice instruction pamphlet right on the shoe that you can read about it, and you can get the instructions how to do it and everything else. At the time when this shoe released, I was always wondering, is it really gonna work? I mean, is it really gonna work for you to throw this shoe inside your oven on 200 degrees Fahrenheit? This is about 95 degrees Celsius. Heat it up for 3 minutes, then put it on your feet, tie them up, sit for 8 minutes so the side panels form around your foot. And then after that, I guess it's more comfortable for you and more one-to-one fit. We're gonna test it today. I know it's not a fresh pair, you know, it's 15 years later. Maybe it's not gonna work, maybe it's gonna work. We're gonna test it. I'm gonna throw it in the oven and see how it feels. But to me, that was interesting. I always wanted to check it out. First, we're gonna look at the details of the shoe then before we try to do the test. To me, this is a pretty clean design. Yeah, very similar to and kind of fits into the whole era of 2000 and, you know, late 2009, 8. All the sneakers were pretty much made the same way. Nothing really crazy, not a lot of overlays, not a lot of underlays, clean upper design. A giant vector logo on both medial and lateral side. Now, obviously, we have the white upper, black vector logo, and black midsole. That's about it. Combination is white and black for the most part. But there's other technologies that are implemented in this model. Now, if we look at the inside of the tongue, it says ETC, which is 360 anti-friction technology. So the inner liner apparently is made of this fabric that is anti-friction, and hopefully that really works. The other technology here implemented is Hexaride. So Hexaride, I kind of miss this actually. I have several models with the Hexaride. I always find it to be very comfortable. Basically is a giant oversized Hexaride, and some models have the pods slightly smaller with a lot more populating the forefoot. This one has 3 on the forefoot and 3 on the heel, and they are what they are. They're hexagonal shaped. They're giant, or significantly bigger than what I've seen on other models. And of course, we have the obligatory TPU shank in the midfoot section, and it's perforated for extra ventilation. This was one of the things they were doing at the time. And if you're using these on the court all the time, this makes sense. But if you're using them outside and then maybe it's raining or maybe it's wet or snow, that's going to fill in immediately and your feet are going to be wet. So that's probably one of the reasons this is no longer in use in majority of the performance basketball shoes, because a lot of people are using them not only for performance basketball on the court, but also casual wear. And if you're using them for casual wear, they better be somewhere where it's dry and doesn't rain all the time. Otherwise, that's going to get filled in. But yeah, for ventilation, great. I like that implementation, always have. The traction at the bottom, we have these kind of oversized herringbone patterns, and they're pretty soft, but the actual traction is about millimeter, a millimeter and a half. So on court, I don't think you're going to have problem with that whatsoever. Pretty pronounced outrigger on the forefoot lateral side for better stability. So in general, the shoe is constructed very nicely with the thought of being a performance shoe. And why I chose the time to look at this right now, well, next week we have the next generation performance Reebok basketball shoe that is being released on the market on February 13th. One of the most anticipated models coming out this year, and I'm super excited to see that model Engine A coming out on the market, retailing for $130. Hopefully I'm gonna have a chance to review it and check it out for you guys as well, so you can see. But you know, this is kind of like what the last performance line of Reebok looked like 15 years ago, and now again we have a performance model coming out. I'm super excited about that because Reebok dominated the market in the early 90s. They were almost 50-50 with Nike on the NBA courts and across the globe, and of course the college basketball and all that stuff. Nice clean colorway, no genuine materials here whatsoever. This is all synthetics through and through. Again, this was kind of the demise of the brand in my opinion. Everybody, or many brands, everybody was migrating from genuine materials at the time. They're trying to make them cheaper and cheaper. They were trying to implement new quote-unquote technologies. Synthetics will never sell me as a new technology. I'm sorry, but this is just a cheap way to make uppers. Genuine materials will always be better. And if we look at the inside of the shoe, production date here is July of 2010. My size on it, and the thong is held by bungees, so somewhat gasketed, not all the way down, but it's held with bungees. The insole I cannot pull, unfortunately, it's glued in, but if I pry my fingers just a little bit to see, it's just one of those foam insoles, pretty thick actually, Reebok branding on top of it. It's not Ortholite, anything special like that, but it's very thick. I have to say, pretty thick insole, considering how much thinner and thinner all the insoles have been coming recently on all the new models. Larger metal lace loops on the last two, and we have also metal lace loops on the front 5. Lacing system pretty rigid, I have to say. Even the synthetic material is wrapped around, so if you pull those laces, you're not gonna have any problems lacing them. So if you find yourself a pair of these and you really want to play basketball in them, I'll be actually curious to hear if any of you have done that. To me, they look pretty beastly. To me, they look like something they're gonna perform well. Cushioning wise, when I put them on feet, they're pretty soft. Hexarite feels like Hexarite. Like I mentioned, I have other models, and when I put them on feet, they're pretty cushioned. The EVA in the midsole is soft, so no problems when it comes to the cushioning and the responsiveness. Now obviously I'm gonna throw them in the oven and strap them around my feet, and I'm gonna show you the results, and hopefully they're not falling apart, because I will be very disappointing. But again, very nice little pamphlet to the side with a lot of warnings on a lot of languages, and I'm glad Reebok were trying to innovate even back in 2010 and create something that is different and create something that is a little bit more unique. All right, what can I say? I mean, after the experiment, they're still holding together. I mean, I don't see any sole separation anywhere. Luckily, maybe even the glue bonded even more after that experiment, throwing in the oven and following the instructions that are on the little pamphlet, how to mold them around your feet. Do I feel something different, something dramatically different, that they molded around my feet and I feel more comfortable? Maybe it's a placebo effect. I think maybe slightly they fit better, but that could be just because of the heat and just because of, you know, strapping them around and sitting with them for a little bit. Yeah, normally, you know, other technologies from other companies, you know, foam posite comes to my mind that with the heat of your feet over time, they mold around your feet. So maybe Reebok were trying to kind of replicate something similar here with the U-form. Honestly, I cannot say with 100% certainty there is a big difference. Yes, they're slightly more comfortable, but is that because of the oven and all that stuff, or just because they were on my feet for a while? So yeah, just interesting pair, interesting part of the brand history. And I've always wanted to check this pair, or a pair that feature U-form, that is branded right here on the back. And I'm so glad that I found this one, added to the collection. Very nice. Hopefully in the future, if I find more, I'm probably gonna buy them as well. Check them out, why not? Hopefully next week I'll be able to review for you guys the new model coming out. That will be super exciting, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you're new. Check out the other videos coming very, very soon as well. And as always, guys, you have a wonderful day.